Welcome back to Is on Rabbit Radio. My guest on the program now is the Duke of Spook, the Doc of Shock, the one and only Wednesday 13. Thanks for joining us tonight, man.
Thank you. What a great introduction. The Duke of Spook. I've never heard that. I'm going to have to take that and put that on my dressing room.
Oh, awesome, man. Awesome. So
the Duke of Spook. I like that. I'm happy now. That's a good one.
A bit of a Bill and Ted reference.
Yeah, maybe I haven't seen Bill and Ted enough to know that, so that's good.
Well, you can take that one now. That's all yours.
Yeah. All right, it's mine. I'm stealing it fair and square.
Awesome, man. Well, your new album, Monsters of the Universe, Come Out and Plague, is set to be released over here this week, which is, of course, a concept album. So what's the story behind it?
You know, what I've been trying to tell people is, it's not like a concept story where you have to, open up the liner notes and read a book or something like that. I didn't put a storyline in it. But the basic storyline is, what if you woke up one day and you turn on the news, or however you get your news, your newspaper or your television, and whoever you take your news from or you believe, they just go, hey, everything that you know is a lie. And also, there's an alien invasion coming and a plague's breaking out, and now you guys deal with it. And it's just the earth goes to shit. And, there's no happy ending. This is not a Disney movie or a Disney story. Yeah, that's the basic concept.
And I love the Predator reference, too.
Thank you.
I saw an interview with you where you actually did the best Jesse Ventura I've ever seen in my life.
Thank you. Big fan of Jesse Ventura.
Well, you also, with this album, you offered your fans different special limited edition prints. And one of them included, a paper mache mask that you personally hand-painted, and another was, name your own monster. I really like how you interact with your fans that way. Was there anything that, you really wanted to do with those pre-orders that, due to time or cost that just didn't work out?
I always come up with a million ideas that are, impossible to do. I can't remember thinking right off the top of my head, but a ridiculous idea I couldn't get done. But no, I try to do something different every time, and it's just really cool to do that. I always try to think back to when I was buying records as growing up, and, bands used to do different things, and it was all about getting that record, and you couldn't wait to open it up and look at the inside of it and see the lyrics. And now it's in this digital age where some people don't need anything other than just the music, and so I made this for the people like me that like to collect the stuff, and it's fun that way, and being able to get people special things, or allow 13 people to be inside the booklet, or 13 of those masks, it's just it's a different thing, and it shows the personal vibe I give with my fans.
I think it's awesome, man, because as you said, there's not a lot of bands these days. I remember, years ago, you'd go to a record store and they'd have the pre-orders, and you'd get a video, or you'd get something that was for the fans. And these days with the digital age, it sucks, man. It really sucks. I feel so, sorry for the kids that, all their bands, they just for some reason, one way or another, they can't do it. But you're doing it, which is awesome.
Thank you, and and it always, the thing about my fans is they want to have the whole package with all that. So I've been really fortunate that I don't really fall on that kind of thing with a lot of, but there are a lot of bands that suffer from that just no one cares about their artwork, or they're not a visual band or anything. So that's part of the whole package with me. I can't get away with doing anything cheap, so I'm stuck here.
But man, you do it so well. And it's two different artworks as well, isn't it, for the vinyl and the CD?
Yeah, we did two different artworks for it, and it's just totally artwork for everything, the whole packaging on it. The vinyl, it's on double vinyl. The side 1, 2, and 3 is the album. Side 4 is an actual picture disc. So it's really, really cool. When you just open this whole thing up, it's just you get the vibe of the record, and I've never been more proud of a release, and just how the artwork and everything turned out. It's really, really cool, and I always wanted to do 2 different album covers. I always thought that was cool.
Yeah, it's a great idea, man. Did you come up with the concept yourself? Did you draw it yourself and give it to somebody, or?
Yeah, I basically I've been working with this guy called David Frizzell, who's been doing my artwork for a few years, and it's funny, man. I'm gonna put a book out one day of showing all these little sketches, because every one of my T-shirts, all my album covers, I sketch it out in a notebook and I draw like a 3-year-old. But the sketches I do them just really, really fast, and they look terrible. But you can compare them to the covers and see exactly where they came from. And the same thing came with the CD cover with the Da Vinci, the man there. I sent him a picture of, like, I want to take like that drawing, but I want the thing to have tentacles, and I want to have like Medusa hair and just like a Frankenstein stitched up. And then that's when I got back, and I was like, you read my mind.
It must make it, easy when you've got someone you can work with that can flesh out your ideas like that and bring them to life, So, I really dig your artwork too. That's another thing. You mentioned you want to do a book, but, would you do an autobiography as well?
Oh, I would love to, man. It's definitely in the works. I have enough stories from the Murdered All days that would just be ridiculous. But it's just, that's definitely on down the road. But yeah, I've been saving all my things and like drawings and things like that to put it out in some type of art book or something later on down the road. But as far as the autobiography and anything like that, that'll definitely be coming, but it'll be a while before that.
Oh man, can't wait to read that. That'd be awesome. Well, your fan base, is incredibly loyal, and a lot of them that I know or have met along the way have, you tattooed on them or your signature. A dude came into my store the other day, and his whole sleeve, he had a whole sleeve, Wednesday 13, you signed it and he had it tattooed. How does that make you feel to have that kind of, dedication from your fans?
Man, it's overwhelming sometimes. I mean, I think I know the guy you're talking about. I took a picture of his sleeve last time I was in Australia. There was a lot of fans that had like some really, really detailed, cool Wednesday 13 tattoos, and man, it's amazing. For me, it's the kind of, I'm not a guy that's on the radio. I'm not making, millions of dollars. I'm not making thousands of dollars. I'm getting by. And no matter what's, when I can go, man, this, maybe this ain't working out for me, and I can meet a kid 5 minutes later, and he's got his arms tattooed, and he's like, man, you changed my life. And I go, wow, and that just brings it back and go, all right, well, I got a purpose here, So that's just seeing that. I see that all around the world. It's amazing, So I've definitely, reached some people, and that's a really cool feeling. You just, my goal is to reach one person, and when I see how it is now, it's crazy to me. But I love it, man. I have the best fans in the world. It's overwhelming.
It must be an awesome feeling from your point of view, man. As you said, reach one person, but if you reach many, and you help them in their day-to-day life, one way or another, man, that's something that you can't really put into words, I guess.
Yeah, I've become like a support group for for our fans. Like we're a unique group of people, and it's not a lot of bands that do what I do. I don't think there's any band that does exactly what I do. I'm a mutt of everything. I'm heavy metal, I'm punk, I'm country, I'm this, I'm that. It's just there's no rules what I do, and I think that's what's fun. And I think that's what the fans see, that there is no limit to what I will do, or what and that's a cool way to play the game, I think.
Definitely, man. On the other end of that, what's the strangest fan experience that you've had? Or, maybe you've been out somewhere and you've been recognized, shopping or something?
No, it's a lot of this. I mean, the funniest thing is when I'll see someone that doesn't look like what I would see a normal fan, like, if they're with, like, black hair, or, like, at a show, like, I don't see, like, some kind of, a normal person, like, maybe, like, an older person, and you go, hey, man, I have all your albums. And I'm like, what? You don't look like you would ever listen to me, But that's kind of stuff. But I guess probably the strangest but kind of funny story, we were in England in 2004. I was doing my very first tour. We were in the venue that had the dressing room was right beside the stage, and you had to walk through the audience to get out, the venue from the backstage area, and a fire alarm went off before like before our show, when we're backstage, in the middle of us getting dressed, like half of my face paint's on, and there's an alarm going off, and I smell smoke, and I'm like, I'm getting the hell out of here. So they're evacuating the club, and it's not really, there's like a fire upstairs. You can just kind of smell smoke. It wasn't anything bad at all, but they made everyone get out. So they're making us, leave the place with everyone else. So we have fans screaming for us and asking for autographs as we're being rushed out by the fire department. And I was like, Wesley, can we get a photo? Can you sign this? And I'm like, can we not be on fire first? Can we do this outside? So yeah, I actually had fans trying to stop me during the middle of we didn't know if the place was on fire or not. You could smell it, and I was like, oh shit, I got to get out of here. But I'll have a few autographs.
So did you end up doing the show?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was like they had everyone back in within it was just like they had to do it for the safety reasons of the fire department. Everyone had to get out, but it was just hilarious, and we were right in the middle of everyone, like our hair is pulled back. We're in half of our clothes and half of our regular clothes, and yeah, it was a fun experience.
That's awesome. That's one for the book.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, man, you've been in the industry for, so long, and, I'm sure that, you've also met your own heroes along the way. Who have you met that's, had the biggest impact on you?
Oh, I mean, my whole musical goal was to meet Alice Cooper or to play a show with Alice Cooper or anything like that, and so that was my rock and roll goal as a young kid, getting into this whole thing, and then when I finally met Alice, I met Alice when Murder Dolls were on tour I believe in Belgium in 2003 was the first time I met Alice, and I met him and became friends with his daughter and his bass player Chuck and guitar player Ryan and all those guys, and then like a couple of years later, Wednesday 13 got asked to go out with Alice Cooper, and I was like, holy shit, this is my dream come true. And and since then we did a lot of shows with Alice, and he's become a friend as well as still being my rock and roll hero. So yeah, that was something you would never ever convince me growing up that, dude, you'll be friends with Alice, you'll go on tour with him. I'm like, no way, but yes way.
That is awesome, man. He must be a really cool guy. Everything I hear about him is he's just an absolute legend.
He's the best, and there's nobody that will ever do what he did or do it better than him. And I tell him all the time, I'm like, you're the reason that I do what I do, And I was like, I blame you, Alice Cooper. So
that's really cool, man. Well, on to horror, you probably get asked things like this all the time, but personally, I'm a huge fan of the Evil Dead series. And, there's been news this week that, they're making, a series this year with Bruce Campbell over in New Zealand. Just want to know what your thoughts on that are.
I'm down for watching that. I mean, it's just the whole thing with horror. When they started doing all the remakes, there's good ones and there's bad ones. And, at least having Bruce Campbell, being involved with it, if it was Evil Dead with someone from the cast of Friends being Ash, that's a different story. It's just, so I'm down. I dig Bruce Campbell, and I'm sure he's doing something that he feels like it holds up to the legacy. He seems to care about the legacy of what he's done with that, so I trust that.
Did you like the last movie?
Yeah, I did. I actually, it wasn't any, again, I try to give anything a shot. I didn't love it, and I didn't hate it. That was exactly what I thought it would be. I thought it was an okay. I felt like I got my money's worth at the theater, so I was happy with it.
Yeah, I loved it too. I loved Jane Levy's character, Mia. I just thought, that she was great, and always hoped that they'd team her and Bruce up for future adventures.
Yeah.
So that's why I've got my fingers crossed for, man, because I absolutely love it. On to touring. Have you got any plans to head back down here this year?
Yeah, it's definitely on our list. We don't have any concrete dates at the moment, but I know it's going to happen. It's just a matter of just getting the times pinned down. We're still piecing out our touring for the rest of the year. Our U.S. run starts on Wednesday next week, ironically, and and then we do the UK, and then we have another half of the US run we're going to do later, and then we got to work in Europe, we got to work in Australia,